This video is the first step to giving yourself permission to do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter if it's business, if it's like a big life change, hell, if it's even like buying a t-shirt at the mall, right? If you want to do something, dare to give yourself permission to do it. Hi, I'm Roma. I am a sales systems coach. So that means I help you make more sales and automate your business as you go. And I have created over $500,000 in sales at this point in less than 3 years in my business. And I wanted to share all of the steps that I've taken to grow my business that's more than just strategy, but has to do with things that have held me back, and I'm sure that a lot of you will resonate, so that's why I wanted to make this series. Part 1 is all going to be about waiting for permission. So what I've noticed across my business journey, and so many of my colleagues that are also entrepreneurs and business owners, whether it's the masterminds I've joined or other group programs, even places where I coach in, is one of these 3 things is usually holding you back. I waited at least 5 years before I started my business. And I waited so long because I was always waiting for some magical sign from God or the universe, or someone to give me a green light to start my business. And that held me back in so many ways. But I was waiting a lot of that time to be given permission to start the dream life I've always wanted, right? And it doesn't even have to do with your business. It could be even like moving across the country or buying something for yourself. You're waiting for that permission. And I think a lot of times, if you're a woman of color or you're a daughter of immigrant parents, you constantly have to ask for permission for different things. Permission to leave the house, permission to travel, permission to do anything you want, because you're very locked in by your community. And it's something that I noticed is one of the things that have had protected me in childhood, but as you get into adulthood, it's one of the things that really holds you back. So I'm going to go over the 3 places that I had asked for permission. And if you're dealing with this, I think this video will really help. Number 1 is yourself. Constantly waiting on yourself to give you permission on things you want to do. So for example, I wanted to move across the country, and I kept asking other people to validate my decisions, to tell me it was okay. And no matter what anyone said, it never clicked for me because I wasn't sure if it's something I wanted to do. I just got an inkling that I needed to move. And that's when you know something is wrong, when everyone in your life is telling you to do something and you also want to do it, but you think you still need some kind of crystal ball to make that decision. That's one, right? The way to get over this is time. It's going to take a lot of time to validate yourself because you might have grown up in a culture or a community, or you might have lived your whole life again waiting for validation. The whole school system, how everything is set up, is you're constantly waiting for the next step. Everything in your life is planned for, I think, the first 21 years. You go to high school, you go to college, and then you go to your 9 to 5. But pretty much at that point, there's no second step. Sure, you could go to grad school. That might be the second step. But there's no path laid out for you. So you're constantly looking to others to show you that path. But at that point, you just have to figure it out yourself. Number 2, for where you might be waiting for permission, is family. And I am so guilty of this. Every major decision in my life, I had brought it to my family first, my sisters, my parents. I was constantly looking for validation from them, and it's completely normal if that happens. Because again, as you're going through the school system, as you're becoming a young adult, that's what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to go to your family for advice and consultation. And what I realized is there is a ceiling to that. At one point, you're going to start to want to do things that your family and your siblings have never done before. And that's where you need to give yourself the permission, right? So I'll give you an example. If you wanted to start your own business and no one in your family had ever started a business before, you're asking the wrong people. Sure, they could give you advice about things they've done in the past, but if you're talking to your family about starting a business, your issues are something that's going to be completely foreign to them. It's the unknown, and that is what's going to hold you back. Asking for opinions from people that have never done what you wanted to do. And I wish someone had explained it to me like this, because I always thought that you needed a lot of green lights to go down the path you wanted to. And then number 3 is friends, right? Whether it's making a big life decision, or again, if you're watching this channel because you're starting your own business, it could be that you're waiting on your friends to do something along the like to validate your decision. So for example, when you're graduating college, everyone is getting a job. The natural next step for you might feel like getting a job. But if you know you want something else and your friends aren't doing it, again, you're looking in the wrong places for validation. Because if none of your friends are starting businesses, of course you're going to feel wrong. So the best way to give yourself permission and stop waiting for permission is one, go to places where people are already doing what you want to do. Even if that means starting for free, like joining Facebook groups of new entrepreneurs and just lurking and sitting in that energy and feeling less crazy to see kind of what other people are doing that you also want to do. It's really about joining different communities so that your new normal doesn't feel as crazy, because of course it's going to feel insane if you're leaving the stability of a 9 to 5 when all your friends also have 9 to 5s and have never run a business. It's going to feel like you're an insane person, right? Why would you go against the grain? Versus if you place yourselves in communities where that help you achieve your goal of eventually starting your business, right? Lurk in those communities, listen to what the ladies are saying, and you will start to have a new normal of what you want to do. And that is what I really recommend. If you're kind of waiting for permission, a sign, whatever, this video is the first step to giving yourself permission to do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter if it's business, if it's like a big life change, hell, if it's even like buying a t-shirt at the mall, right? If you want to do something, dare to give yourself permission to do it. Now, I'm not saying all common logic goes out the window, right? But if you are waiting for a green light or you're waiting for validation, then the best way to start is just building self-trust. And what that means is start surrounding yourself with the people with the same goals. Start watching YouTube videos of people who are doing what you want to do. And just start giving yourself a good feedback system. So that was part 1 of my vulnerability series. And if you're noticing that you are kind of waiting for permission to get started on whatever you want to start on, just know that you're not alone. It took me years to start my business journey, even to do some of the things I've wanted, like solo traveling. So there is no right or wrong. It is all your journey. Stick around and we'll have part 2 out of 4 coming in the next week.